All right, kind of different, doing this one a little differently, but yeah, just want to give some all right, Crown Jewel is in the books, and instead of giving like a full breakdown as whatever, I want to give a quick analysis and kind of talk about what's going on in the future because of what happened at Crown Jewel. This is going to be more so raw-ish video. I'm not gonna do too much editing. Maybe cut down some some ums, some oohs, because my ass can't talk really good. But I just want to give some quick thoughts, But before we get into that, go ahead and like the video if you please. Go ahead and subscribe. It means the world to me. But yeah, let's talk about Crown Jewel. So overall, I want to say that the show, and I called it online, like on my X. If you want to follow me there on all socials, I'm at It's Heartfelt. But on X, it felt like at the time, like really when the show went off, that it was a glorified house show. And if you don't know a house shows are their non-TV events, to where you'll see like maybe different matchups that wouldn't make sense on TV, but since there's hardly anywhere, 99.9% of the time there's no storyline at a house show. It's just matches and interacting with the crowd. And it felt like this was a lot of great action, but I'm not sure as far as story wise where do we go from here. And I'm not going to give a full breakdown of every match. I'll tell you who wins and what's next. So let's go. Let's start at the top. We have the OG Bloodline, Roman Reigns and the Usos versus the new Bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, Tonga Loa on the side, making a 6-man. Match was good. I thought what's interesting is the dichotomy of, I think I'm using that word right, the relationship between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns, that it wasn't a fully like, oh, we 100% trust each other. No, these two went to war several times over the last 3 or 4 years. And on the last time they interacted, it was Roman like manipulating Jimmy, his twin brother, to take out Jey and prevent him from winning the title. So yeah, they put the beef aside for a night, but it's still there. It's still in the weeds, and they played into a match. And the most surprising thing to me was that the ending of the match was Solo Sikoa, the new tribal chief, the leader of the new bloodline, pinned Roman Reigns, the OG tribal chief, the original one. I for sure thought Jimmy was taking the pin, but no, Roman took the pin, and Solo has the pinfall victory over him, which the winner needed to have. It was so the team New Bloodline needed to win to establish credibility and get us ready to War Games, which is the next PLE. And speaking of getting us ready, after a match, New Bloodline took down OG Bloodline. Sami Zayn comes out and makes a save, who was a part of Roman Reigns' bloodline until truth be told, he turned on Roman. I mean, Roman manipulated the shit out of him, but he turned on him. And so in the beatdown, they had Solo cornered. Sami was going to kick the shit out of Solo, and Solo moved, and Sami got Roman. And so that whole opened, like literally that cake opened up a whole plethora of storylines about this. Here. So it's like, oh, can they, Sami knows damn sure he can't trust Roman. But now Roman's probably all pissed, doesn't want anything to do with him. How they're going to get Sami as the 4 for War Games. If you don't know, War Games is 4-on-4 inside 2 rings covered by 1 singular cage. Look it up. It's pretty cool. But Roman doesn't know, does he want to have Sami? Because we know everyone who watches for the last little bit knows this lean to new Bloodline, OG Bloodline, War Games 4-on-4. But getting there is going to be kind of fun. Sami's going to make it up to Roman or just say, deal with it, or it's gonna be little things. I like that. This part was the one match thing of the night that kind of like made was like, oh, what's next? What's next? What's next? This is like to me one of the few parts of the night. It's like, oh, what's next? But yeah, I thought, you know, it took give a bunch of branch of stories to do that. All right, let's move on to the women's fatal four-way. Let's move on to the women's fatal four-way. I thought it was a good match, expected outcome of, because it was Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair who were the champs versus Meta Girls, which is Jakara Jackson, Last Legend, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven. I thought the team got the show out, especially like shout out to the Last Legend, Jakara Jackson. I thought, you know, they proved that they're just not NXT people, which if you don't know, NXT is WWE's developmental. I thought they proved that they deserve a main roster spot. They deserve to be on the damn main roster. And so it was cool to see them show up and show out. But yeah, Bianca and Jade retained. And the thing that gets, like, I'm trying to wrap my brain around is who's next? There's not that many tag teams in the WWE. And you had, well, for women, and you just had 3 of them in there. One of them just got disbanded with the release of Indy Hartwell, so Candice LeRae doesn't have a tag team partner anymore. And it's just like, you know, you took them all out. Where do you go? Do you run one back? If you do, I assume it'd be Last Legend Jakara Jackson. Do you throw Bayley Naomi, who's been teaming recently, in there? So they have a couple of things to play with, but I thought that it would have been a way more fun moment if someone else got the win. I would love for it to be Chelsea Green, Piper Niven. Them as tag team champs is, you know, guaranteed fun times. But yeah, Bianca and Jade prove that they are the women of the division, single or tag team, and they will dominate for a while until someone steps up and take them out. We'll see. Overall, good match though. Great match. We have Seth Rollins and Big Bronson Reed. Hard-hitting affair as it should be. This is bad blood. Not the PLE. This is actual bad blood between these two guys. But this is bad blood. And it was hard-hitting affair. And Seth Rollins comes away with the win. And this might have been the one that I had the most problem with the ending. I thought Bronson Reed should have gotten the win. And I get it if this is a feud starter, Seth can go ahead and get the win, Bronson get it back. But we know the writing's on the wall for how this ends. It's Seth Rollins over Bronson Reed. Seth's the bigger star. Seth is the babyface. And a feud win over this will probably catapult Seth into a world title picture. So I thought Bronson Reed could have got the win here. And eventually Seth got back. Yeah, Bronson at the end stood up. Was like, oh, I'm coming to you. Yeah, Bronson's probably going to cost Seth Rollins a championship opportunity coming up. But for Seth to get this win, he guarantees Bronson has to get the next one, which sets up that feud ender eventually down the line, probably at a Royal Rumble, given timeline, which Seth Flair should win that. But still, I thought Bronson winning this would have been more of a statement than Seth Rollins winning it. And I don't know. It just feels like you're adding extra steps to a story that didn't need extra steps. Bronson, like I said, the Bronson win and Seth trying to get back would have been more streamlined and more palatable than Seth just winning again for no damn reason. But great match. It was pretty cool. All right. Next, we have the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. I guess that's how we're going to call it. We have the Women's Crown Jewel Championship between Liv Morgan and Nia Jax. And this match, the match itself felt like it was something off of Raw or SmackDown. You had the Tiffany Stratton interference. You had the Raquel Rodriguez interference, Dom interference. It's something that felt very Raw or SmackDown. That it made sense why it happened, but it was saved as far as the crown jewel part at the end. Being presented the title that's bigger than Liv. Basically, it was a huge belt. But being presented with that and the fireworks and the presentation, especially at the end with both the men's and the women's winner, which Liv was the winner, it elevated the crown jewel championship to feel like it was important, even if it's just a one-off. I mean, they're just being confirmed they're not carrying around the belt forever. Belt's gonna stay in Saudi Arabia. They're gonna get like a Super Bowl like ring to hold for either a year, or just have the 2024 Saudi champ or whatever. But and the action in there it felt like an episode of Raw. As far as where they go from here, Nia Jax is still like mad at Tiffany for even thinking about cashing in. Liv and Raquel on NXT took out her main opponent, Rhea Ripley, in a parking lot. Rhea has a legitimate injury, is going to be out. So where Liv goes, does Becky come back? If Charlotte comes back, do they ship her over to Raw to feud with Liv? I think Raw needs a top superstar. I thought Bayley should have been shipped over there, because a couple months ago, it was a tag. It was so convoluted. It was a tag team match with Bayley and Naomi versus Tiffany and Nia, and if Bayley and Naomi got the pin, they got the title opportunity. But if Bayley and Naomi was the one that got pinned, they were being shipped to Raw. I wish they used that opportunity to send either Bayley and Naomi to Raw. I think an infusion of a top talent could help the brand right now, because it was like Liv and Rhea, and then like kind of down there. They're missing Becky, who's out. Appropriately still doing her own thing. I wish her nothing but resting up and all that stuff. If she decides to come back, if not, fantastic career, see you in the Hall of Fame. But still, it's like they can use another star. And as far like Nia Jax is like, I mean, I guess we're going to rehash Bayley Naomi. Are they just spinning the wheels until Charlotte decides to come back? Or not decides. She did tear her ACL about a year ago. So, and when Charlotte comes back, are they going to run Nia Charlotte? Or is Tiffany going to cash in finally? We'll see. But overall, the Crown Jewel championship is cool. But it kind of, nothing was really advanced. Tiffany's been fake cashing in for her basically ever since she got the damn briefcase. And nothing else happened, so... Cool match. Didn't really do much for me. Next, we have Kevin Owens and Randy Orton in another blood feud similar to Seth and Bronson, except this match didn't take place. During Randy's entrance, Kevin attacked him. They started beating the shit out of each other. They started beating the shit out of refs. They started beating the shit out of officials. And it ended with both of them going, ugh. And given how the feud was, this was probably the best thing to do about it. I didn't make sense that they had like a traditional match after Kevin Owens is seeing red. At first at Cody Rhodes for teaming with Roman Reigns, his arch enemy, like your best friend teaming with your arch enemy, and then at Randy Orton for being cool with it. Essentially, Kevin Owens seeing red about it, and then attacked Randy Orton. Now Randy Orton was seeing red after being attacked, so them having a traditional match would not have made sense. I thought this was probably the best way to go if you're not going to put a stipulation on the match, and it sets up for, I assume, War Games when they probably have a hardcore, far as kind of anywhere, unsanctioned, something like that along the lines. But yeah, this got done what we need to do. This is the other match on the card that I thought advanced the story a little bit. Spoilers, the rest of the card really doesn't. But I thought this advanced the story further. Again, not by much. We knew they didn't like each other. It just delays their eventual match. And yeah, cool visuals. Them taking out officials and rest was funny to see, but overall, we're just delaying the match. So next, LA Knight defended his title and successfully defended it against Carmelo Hayes and Andrade. Theme of the night, good match, but like, where do we go from here? If LA Knight was going to drop this title, it probably should have been tonight, because it's like, where does any of these men go? Who does LA Knight feud with after this? He does it. You could run it back with Hayes Andrade, but if Crown Jewel felt like the end, it felt like the appropriate time to just call it for all these interactions for LA Knight to move on and Carmelo Andrade. But Carmelo Andrade don't have anyone we want to. Neither does LA Knight. I assumed it was gonna be AJ Styles, but he's hurt. Maybe you could do like a Montez Ford singles run or somebody else, but the title should have been dropped. To me personally, to Hayes, but that's just I'm a huge fan. Andrade winning would have made sense too, and they could have ran this back for the title again. But I don't know. We'll see where LA Knight goes. We'll see where Carmelo and Andrade goes. My fear for this is that they might fight against each other, but after that, it kind of gets forgotten, and all that best of 7 series momentum that they built, because it was great, gets forgotten, and we go into 2025 with them just kind of doing whatever. So, yeah, I think LA Knight should have dropped here. Should have probably dropped Carmelo Hayes, but I don't know. We'll see. The run's been pretty good so far. And then the main event was Cody Rhodes Gunther for the men's Crown Jewel Championship that Liv won, and Cody Rhodes won by reversing a sleeper hold and getting Gunther's shoulders to the mat for 3 seconds. That's all he needed. It wasn't like a knockout decisive win. It was, oh, you're gonna put me in a sleeper hold, and then get the 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes at the end celebrates. And this one, because I think the main event helped it, and I think it would be the same thing if Liv Nia was the main event. Being the main event helped elevate this Crown Jewel Championship for the men. Them being the two top champions elevated it for a concept that really on paper shouldn't matter, shouldn't care. It could have been something that wasn't even televised and it wouldn't change a thing. But these two men elevated it, they worked, and the presentation at the end with not only Cody, but also Cody and Liv, and having, I assume there was people like Saudi officials out there. I assume that's who that was presenting it. They made it feel like an important deal for a night. I don't know if that feeling's gonna last, give it a week or so. But for one night, they made it feel important, and so that's all he needed for that good match. But this match had nothing to do with even Raw Monday, aside for they mention it, and Gunther's like, "Oh, I lost," and then someone comes to challenge him, and Gunther's like, "Oh, I'll beat your ass," and we're back on top. So Cody, there was, on the latest edition of SmackDown. Oh God, that was country, that first one. The latest edition of SmackDown, it was Randy Orton was like, he's looking at the title. So the way they're telling that story, it's too early for me to run Cody Randy, but I don't know. They could hopefully they'll set that for Royal Rumble. But Gunther, maybe Punk comes back. Maybe they tease Rollins, Gunther, and Bronson delays getting his get back on Rollins. Maybe they go with somebody else. I know there's a fatal 4-way coming up to see who's going to challenge Gunther. I know it's like Dom. Actually, give me 1 second. I'll look it up. I know. Well, I'm not gonna look it up. Fuck it. It was like Dom, Sheamus, I think Seth Rollins and somebody else. I don't know, but whoever's in it, it'll be funny if Dom won it. Dom versus Gunther would be a fantastic War Games match. Gunther just whooping that ass. Any one of them would be a great match. I guess that's where Gunther goes. And Gunther's a talker. He knows how to talk. He'll put some juice into that. Cody, they could run Randy soon, but I don't know. I feel like there's still enough like juice in Randy KO to not run that yet. So Cody needs something to do. I don't know. Throw somebody out there. Shit. I don't know. To throw Trick Williams. Somebody. Give him a good match. But yeah. That was probably the name of the game of the show. Cool action. Doesn't mean much in a month. But that's going to do it for here. Let me know if you made this far. Let me know if you like this kind of video where it's like I'm not going to put any editing on it. You're going to hear all the ahs, on this. And so actually, yeah, I'm not gonna do any editing. Yeah, let me know how you liked it. Or you want to go back to editing the shit out of this because I suck. But go ahead again, drop a like, drop a sub. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right. Peace.